And on that note, welcome to this week's Half Pint.
Thank God we're in the half pint.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I felt the transition.
It was the Dingleberry Clanger, wasn't it?
Yeah. I've had a tune in the back of my head today. I have the name of the artist on the tip of my tongue, but I can't really name it. But the song is Crocodile Shoes.
Jimmy Nail.
Yeah, Jimmy Nail.
Oh.
I was gonna say one hit wonder, or a few hit wonders, maybe. I'm not sure.
It was more than one, but if we're doing a sort of 3 in 10 style countdown scenario to win the big prize, I couldn't tell you what they are.
No. I'm thinking Crocodile Shoes is probably expensive, although questionable in taste. Of course, it's just a few days until me and my youngest daughter are going to France, and we're going to do a lot of walking, and she was in dire need of new shoes, so we went to get new shoes today. And we have realized that both our daughters have now passed that threshold that they're now using the smallest of the adult shoes. And I'm not saying that kids' shoes are cheap, because they ain't, but now they're full-blown adult prices. So I paid more for my daughter's shoes than I did for my own. But so
Yeah.
we're going to do a lot of walking because I'm going to make my money worth. So yeah.
Yeah, buying shoes for kids are never fun because one, you have to find something that they will actually wear, and then you have to pay through the nose because, as you say, it ain't cheap.
Yeah.
But I mean, my youngest refuses to get shoes because he claims. I mean, he doesn't like them when they're too tight. He doesn't like them when they're too loose. You have to be just perfect. So he still wears the what to say, the insulated Wellingtons he was wearing all winter. So she's probably a bit hot.
Yeah, but I get it if they're comfortable, and then he might have come
They
to that.
shouldn't be.
No, but I mean a good set of worn-in shoes. Yeah, you
That's
can't
true.
put a price on that, but maybe he has reached that level where he doesn't grow as much in foot size. But we are now in that sweet spot that I buy shoes now that are perfect, not too loose, not too tight. In 2 weeks, they will be too tight. And of course, I can't buy them too big because then she will just like walk around with 2 bathtubs. But by the end of the summer, of course, she will have grown into them. But I'll give them credit, though. I mean, at least the youngest daughter, she's a feral wildling, that one. So she wears her shoes on both the inside and outside, and she wears holes in them on the top as well. She uses every surface of that shoe. So she make good bang for the bucks. So that's good.
So that's very sort of like a Native American. Use the whole animal, use the whole shoe. If you're going to take a shoe, use all of it. I'm just looking at Jimmy Nail number ones. It would appear that Crocodile Shoes in 1994 got to number 4 in the charts. 1992's Ain't No Doubt got to number 1.
Haven't heard that one.
I probably have, but I would not want to admit it.
I think he was, when that song became popular in Norway, it probably was more popular here than everywhere because it was some British TV show, right, that he was involved in, and that was why it was popular here in
Spender.
Norway, I think. Yeah, probably. I was too young in 1994 to.
Yeah, I know that I saw it, and I think I enjoyed it, but I haven't a clue what what it was about.
No, me neither. I remember it being on. I remember it being very popular, but what it was about, couldn't tell you. I know he drove a Ford Sierra in it.
I mean, who hasn't? I've owned 7 Ford Sierras, so that doesn't make you special. So you
Was
got
it
to
like a
bring.
sporty one? Maybe. I'm going to Google it. I'm in the half
Oh yeah,
past.
Google it. No, it's probably a
Spender.
TL or something.
Ah.
God forbid someone was driving a Cosworth on telly.
It might have been a Cossie. Police procedural drama with Jimmy Nail, who also created it and wrote it and starred in it.
Yeah, a factory worker becomes a country and western singer.
We are talking about different things, surely.
Crocodile Shoes. I'm talking about.
Oh, right, I see. Okay.
But I must. Is it
Oh,
command? I mean, it is. You write something and "Oh, this is brilliant, and you're selling them the idea. Oh, they like it. So who do you think would me? I would be the best for this. This I am. I've written it. I'll play in it. I'll produce it. And that's a television company. Oh, okay.
there we go. Ford provided a brand new Ford Sierra Sapphire RS Cosworth for the series.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
I hope he hung on to that one. Those are the ones that are not crashed. Are worth a pretty penny today.
I followed a Sierra to work the other day. It was E-Reg, so that places it about 1986 probably,
Oh yeah.
around there. This thing, it must have been restored because this thing was absolutely immaculate. It looked like it had just driven off the production line.
Yeah.
It was incredibly clean and amazing paint and that lovely waft of non-catalyzed fuel.
And slightly leaky head gasket. Yeah,
Mm.
that's the thing. A few years ago there was a Norwegian. He bought one that's been sitting in Germany, I think, in the window of a shop. So it hasn't been driven for more like a couple of 100 miles or something. It is as close to zero as you get. And he has just bricked it in, and I mean, he bricked in the door for the garage it was in, so it was impossible to steal it without demolishing the garage. But I think it was valued to way over 200,000 pounds. I've seen a couple of originals that has been restored in mint condition that they go for upwards towards 200,000 pounds, which is insane. I remember when I started enjoying cars in the early 90s, you could get them at a relatively okay price. But then, of course, I did not have the money. And when I started working and studying, I wouldn't like go to the bank to get the rest to get one of those cars. It wasn't on my priority list. But oh my God, I wish I did that now because and had the wits to keep it and not crash it. It's a lot of
A
it's a
lot
lot of
of
variables here. I can hear that now that it would have stacked against me. So yeah,
Well, it's like the car I learned to drive on, which was my dad's Land Rover Series 2A, which we bought for 300 quid off a local farmer. If we still had that Series 2A today, it would be worth quite a lot of money. Oh well,
oh well.
yeah. And I could have.
Hindsight is a cruel mistress.
It is. It is. He said, "Do you want it?" And me being a dumb 17-year-old, was like, "Ugh, a Land Rover? No." So yeah, it got sold. Oh well, bygones. I'd love a Land Rover. Can't possibly
Yeah.
afford one now of any description.
Is
No.
that bad?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because they're great. All right,
I,
so they
I,
break down all the time. Details, details.
yeah, but I would very much like one in my driveway because then the neighbors would look at, oh, look at that outdoorsy neighbors of ours. And of course now I tested my new tent also. So now the neighbors see it, oh, he's a real outdoorsy man, this one. So yeah, a complimentary
Oh
Land
yeah, I
Rover in
saw
the driveway.
your big green bell tent. That looks good.
Yeah, lovely. Of course, I was very quick to dismantle it again before the rain came because then you have to dry it, and that's a hassle.
It is.
But
Yeah.
I know every part is there. It's functional. And then I wanted to pick your brain on. Of course, it's the kind of tent you chug in the back of your car. You can bring it in a canoe, but it's not the one that you bring on your back and carries for mountains after mountains. And that means that it's going to be closer to what the Americans call camping, where you just it's glamping basically. You bring all the nice to have things in your car and you pitch it a stone throw away from your car and a lake. And that got me thinking of the. I've seen a lot of people, you Phil included, making this small like a workshop toolbox coffee maker like day trip. And then last week, when we talked about that Eurocrate Dutch tool chest, what if you combine those two with the essential that you would need for an outing in the tent? So, of course, you just bring that. It's basically a get out bag, isn't it? For when all right, I'm going tenting, bring the Eurocrate, and you have one that says travel on it, and you have your slow drip coffee maker, the luxuriously padded, extremely expensive but light, of course, Kevlar wound collapsible chair. But what else do you need? Of course, you need the cutlery for the food you're making. You need a small compartment for, or do you do a separate, like a cooler for all the food that you're going to prepare?
What you were talking about is a bit like a camp kitchen. Is that what you're
Yeah.
thinking of?
Yeah, but to tell
Yeah.
it will need to fit in one box. I'm not going to bring box upon box and set up on a lab. It needs to be one box catch all, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Well, you're going to need to fit your gas burner in there as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
And spare fuel because those canisters never last very long. And then
No.
cooking utensils, pots and pans. You're getting your food in there as well.
The good the good thing is that I've now switched to a petrol car, so I have unlimited petrol for my burner. But of course, there are some additives in the petrol that makes it less suitable for food consumption. But I mean, in a pinch, it's just flavoring, isn't it?
I
Mm.
guess.
I mean, at least it's not lead, so it can't be that bad.
Well, I would probably go with your Bluet stove and some camping gas cylinders rather than using the petrol out of your fuel tank.
Yeah. And that being said, I've always had that 1 liter bottle of fuel, and I've been away for days, and I have not used it to the point where I ran out. You just have to make sure that it's full when you leave.
Well, you can use that to start a campfire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you can also do.
And a barbecue.
Because I also saw, of course, now I have the tent for it, and it has you can get a standalone oven, or you can get one that you attach to the center pole, so that you actually have a wood-fired oven in the tent for the really cold nights. But you can also boil your coffee on it. So it's like, if it's raining, you can sit inside your tent and keep it good and warm, and you can make your tea. I'm romanticizing it here now very much.
Yes, you are.
I think it sounds fantastic. Yeah, when you're out alone in the woods in your tent.
Your tent for 4 to 6 people who can stand upright. Yeah, that's
Well, yeah, it's 2 to 4 people to stand upright, or one person for a palatial tent.
yeah.
With a workshop.
I
And you
like
can,
I like space, okay, not people. Those are
Yeah.
those are not connected.
this is my tent, and this is the workshop, and this is the heated swimming pool. This is the reading room.
Glamping? No.
I tell you what, the ridiculous thing, where it was the Olympic year that we had it, so that was 2012, I think. We went camping in Cornwall, and we went and we had some like really, really basic stuff. We had a really cheap little dome tent that we got from Tesco, which I think cost 12 quid or something ridiculous. One tiny little Primus stove and like a box of assorted bits and pieces. And we were pitched up next to this collection of people who seemed to have this entire house of tents that were all interconnected. And they had a lounge and they had a kitchen.
Yeah.
And then they were watching the Olympics on a big screen TV, which they'd brought with them. And then one morning we woke up, what the hell is that noise? And we got up.
Generator.
No,
Oh.
it wasn't generator. Someone was vacuuming. They
Oh,
were
yes.
vacuuming the tent with like a full-size upright Hoover, which they'd brought with them. It's sort of like, just stay at home.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, how annoying is it when you're going to bed and there is sand in your sleeping bag because somebody just did not take their shoes off. I'm just gonna, and then you take one step in and it's sand everywhere, right? So no, that's fully understandable.
I would say it's bloody brilliant to
I
build that monstrosity.
yes, I think we talked about this earlier on the podcast, or maybe I'm just misremembering, but I've been to a lot of music festivals, and one of the last one I attended, I got the luxury tickets, and that just means that there's a separate smaller camp where they put up the tent for you, so you just arrive and the tent is already there. You don't have to try to find place for it, and I think it was a couple of hundred tents in this secluded place, and it has its own shuttle bus and so on. So the facilities, like the toilet and everything, is regularly cleaned, and it's actually pleasant to use. Well worth the money. But that got me thinking, and I'm kind of sad I had this idea at the last music festival, because you can get that Tesco tent for £10, right? And a lot of people, they just buy these cheap tents and then they pitch them and they just leave them, right? And they pick up the tents and they throw away most of them, but the ones in decent shape they might give away to shelters and whatnot. And then I got the idea of, why don't you buy an extra tent for like 10 quid and a porta potty? So instead of going to that communal awful pile of piss and shit that you have to swim through just to get to the lavies, we could have our own in a tent. Nobody would need to know. It was just there amongst everyone else, and then when the festival was over, you just leave it there. It's one of those military
Surprise!
yeah, surprise for the cleaners. So I mean, you could also do a good job. You could dig a hole and do it properly. But yeah, and then I'm wondering, has anybody else had that idea? Because that is brilliant. Then you don't have to leave camp either. You'll just have that. Oh, that's a red tent. You don't go in there. I've seen on some campsites, no, some camping gear equipment. You actually get like tents that is made for that purpose of actually having a porta potty, and it's like for probably when the scouts are out and about, they have separate tents to put up, so you get the illusion of privacy of four razor thin walls of fabric.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the toilet tent is very much a thing. I'm looking at them now. 35 quid for a toilet tent. Instant pop up toilet and shower cubicle. Ooh, I don't know if I want to combine those two things, to be honest.
Well, I mean, that's the ultimate bidet.
You just have to stand on your hands then.
Oh, good heavens.
You just hope
Yeah,
that that's the tent that that stupidly drunk punk falls over in the middle of the night.
yeah.
Yep.
While you're sitting on that cardboard based shitter, yeah, everything collapses under you. That's
So you bought a new pencil.
I bought a new pencil
Oh yeah,
and I instantly regretted it.
Oh dear.
But it was cheap-ish. It is a Rotring 500, so it's a 0.5 millimeter. It has a plastic body, but aluminum knurled holding area, whatnot, and it's a graphing pencil, so it has the very thin nib that supports the lead. So it's nice drawing with it, and it has a good feel to it. But I realized I want my pencil girthier. So the ones that I have, and I have also this one, which has like the rubbery thinging on. It's nicer to hold, but doesn't have the same quality feel. So if I could have this one, just a bit girthier, but then we are back to the Penco one that we discussed in an earlier episode, but which is not long enough. But I'm thinking maybe I should try that anyway. But then
You're so-
I'm gonna give it a go. It might be just getting used to it. But when I ordered this, I thought it was black, but it was blue, and now it turns out you get it in white as well. And that color very much matches the Orbit crate style. So I really like, I instantly know that I really want the other one just because of the colors, and I can't really let it go. But spending another 20 quid on a pencil feels a bit. So I'm going to be
that's
very
what you
sloppy
don't
with
love.
this one. I'm going to lose it at some point, most surely.
You could always just paint it.
Oh, that's too clever. That's no.
Just disassemble it and paint it.
I could, maybe I'll, but that plastic. Yeah, I'll
It
give it a
will
good.
add a couple of micrometers to the width as well, so it will be a bit chunkier.
Not in the right place though. But that's. I had to have a good round with myself today. If I am I a pencil nerd? Really, is that who I want to be? Because I feel like I'm standing on the edge here. Because I went to the stationery cabinet at work today in need of a pencil, and I found one traditional one that you had to sharpen, and we also have a box of sharpeners. So I'll just bring a sharpener as well. It's not like anyone else is using them. And then I like the feeling and the tactility and the sound of sharpening a pencil. But as sharp as I like them, like the mechanical pencil, they break very easily, even the high end pencils. So I will spend more time sharpening it than using it. And then, of course, there is a lot of nice paraphernalia when it comes to sharpeners. Brass sharpeners with or without uh, collect like repositories for the shavings so you don't make a mess. Then you also have this one. It looks like a hand plane, but it is for sharpening. But then you have to. It takes a lot of time to sharpen that. So it's like for people who like sharpening more than actually drawing. And I've come to the conclusion I'm not one of those. I do enjoy sharpening my pencil, but that's not what I define myself as. But then I also saw a video of one of the Neistat brothers who has a mechanical pencil that he always buys, but he modifies it because it needs a more girthier grip. It needs to be more rubbery, and then of course you need the pencil, and that is the Achilles heel of all of these. I mean, this is for erasing two letters and then it's gone. And you can get a package of 100 of these, but you will spend more time swapping them out. So should I start modifying my pencil in the way that other eclectics do? But then again, should I just spend those 25 extra and just get that pencil I wanted in the first place and hope that it's long enough for my purpose and then I can just be done with it? Because I just need a pencil, basically. That's but I just want a nice pencil.
Yeah, they use these, don't they? The Pentel P209, which it's a great pencil.
Yeah.
I prefer the 130X, which is like this, but it has a rubber grip on it, and that's actually in my other notebook. So they you are standing on the precipice of an enormous rabbit hole.
And that's the thing. I did not find them in one of the Norwegian stores, but at some point I also bought the rubber sleeves that you can put on a regular pencil. That is triangular, and I really like those. But the ones that they make now are not the hard rubber kind, but now it's more like the soft rubbery of a yoga mat, and that no, I need something that
Yeah, it's a
gives you
squishy
resistance.
silicone, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Not
not
nice.
not good. But I like the triangular shape because that fits really well with the style of which I'm holding a pencil.
Wasn't that just to force kids to hold pencils a specific way in school?
Yes, it was. And that's
Nowadays, they don't use those, I can say, with my kids.
that is
Oh,
true.
boy.
And I totally forgot about this, but I I I used to get a cramp in my hand when I was drawing, and I love drawings. I did a lot of drawings, and then at school I think I had some rounds with a physiotherapist to see if they like did you hold it right, and they all did that trick when all right when you're writing you should hold it, but if someone tries to like yank it out of your fingers that should be easy. And then of course I have that tendency of I support my drawing hand if I'm drawing details with the finger of the so it's a two-hand operation when I'm drawing details. I haven't seen much people doing that, but it works for me. And that triangular piece really worked, but I haven't seen them in a while. I bought like a pack of 10 at some point, but I've lost where I kept the last 7 of them. But then I thought, now I know someone with a lathe, and that's what I like with this pencil is that it's at a weight, so it lays good in your hand, and I like the knurled aluminium. And then, what if I make a brass one? That would be really cool. But you couldn't use a lathe really. You can make a round one, but if you may want a triangular one, you should have someone with a like a proper machining setup. So maybe I am a pencil nerd after all.
Excellent. I'm just trying to find where's the. If you go onto the place of ultimate evil, Amazon, You can get. I'm just going to copy this. And where is the chat? There it is. You can buy direct if you want to try these things out. The Scrix Graph X mechanical pencil, metal barrel, ergonomic drip, professional writing and drawing tool in white. And it looks suspiciously like a Rotring 600 mechanical pencil.
Yeah, because
And
I want the rotary one as well. And this is, oh god damn it, this one is cheaper than the one I got. But
yeah,
this
they're
is
11 quid.
it is almost a replica. The only downside is the size is the same though. So of course I will spend a few days rummaging about in that rabbit hole. Another rabbit hole though is that I could of course just pay the price and the import tax and be done with it to get it out of my head. But I think it is like a 40, 50 pounds for that tape clamp.
Oh, yeah.
And then of course I found a company who sell them at a reasonable price in the Netherlands, but they only ship to Netherlands or Belgium. Now I do know some people in the Netherlands, but it's always a hassle asking friends like, can I ship you this, and then have them go to the post office out of their way to ship it to you again. It's like, but then of course making it your own is an alternative, and then I came over these cast iron brass look-alike A clamps, but I don't have any information of how wide these are. But
Not,
what I discovered
not
is that
very wide, I shouldn't think.
no, but you
No.
could get narrow tape, of course, and you get some that are not as good looking but a bit wider. And I know that AliExpress sell these double springs, because the tape clamp has a spring on each side of the tape roll, so that the tape roll can actually operate freely in the center of the axle. So all the parts are available. So I could also 3D print the clampy part, and then I thought, could I make it even more purpose built for that? But I really like that, just clamping the tape on, because we are going through a lot of tape in this period. We are four persons in a household who all likes boxes, and that involves a lot of tape. So I mean, it's an investment.
Is that how you're squaring it? It's an investment. It's
Yeah.
definitely an investment. It's an investment piece. It's going to be an heirloom.
It's for the
Yes.
kids.
So of course it have to come from the joint bank account, because then it's half the price, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yes. That's how maths work, right? Yes.
Sure.
Family math.
Family math. Yeah.
Hey, you're not paying for it. I'm paying for it as well as you.
We are paying for it.
Yeah. Did we agree to buy it? But we're paying for it.
Yeah, and we can all use it. So it's only fitting we all should pay for it.
You can use it anytime. It's in my workshop in a locked drawer, which I've got the keys for, but you can use it anytime.
Yes. Doubling back then on workshop things, I had an email pop up today. Ad, of course. Action camera. Have you used your Osmo camera still, Phil? All right, that's all the answers I needed, because now this wasn't Osmo. It was a cheaper knockoff, but it looks okay for the close up dodgy shots I'm gonna do, but still, I'm not sure how long it would stay in the box after I bought it before it actually got used. It's not like I'm missing my GoPro, and that's in a box. Um, but I'm not using that, of course, because of the very 90s grainy footage. Um,
Yeah. I bought that. I can't even remember how long ago I bought that, and I think I've used it once, maybe even twice.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's a fantastic bit of kit, and it can connect wirelessly directly with my tiny little microphone. I don't need the transceiver. The two just talk to each other. So I really should use it more because the footage is very good and the stabilization is excellent. But
So what's the problem?
it's just one of those things of just I always forget to put it in my camera bag.
because
And
that's the thing that I really missed now on the box cart build. The camera that I have, even with the rig and the extra handle, it doesn't have good enough stabilization. So when you're doing this B-roll shots, it's very hard. You have to hold your breath and make sure that you are pivoting within the sector where your knees doesn't squeak or act up, so that you get a very nice linear movement. And it would be nice. I remember the GoPro at least had decent stabilization, so if you had like decent speed in one direction, it smooth everything out, so you could actually slow the speed of the footage down and get some pleasurable b-roll footage. But yeah, can't that with my camera now, I
yeah.
feel.
Plus, yeah, it's an action cam. It's designed for action cam things. So that wide angle lens is so wide, and you can go into the app and change the field of view to something a bit narrower. But that crops the image so your video quality goes down,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't look the same as the footage out the other camera, and then you have to do a whole load of color grade matching to make it try and look sort of similar. I just don't know if it was worth the hassle.
I didn't think about that actually, the color grading part. Of course, it's easy enough if you have two clips and you grade those so they're relatively close, then you can of course apply those to the separate. But still, it would add some work actually. And yeah, for just those b rolls. And sometimes I think that the action camera would be nice to put close to saw blades and whatever when you're to get really close up shots of things when you're working tools, also because of the wide angle lens. And because that's the problem with the camera I have now. Even the screen is so small that if you turn off the autofocus, it might look in focus on the screen, but once you download it, it's no, it was off by half a millimeter or something, and that was enough for it to be blurry on the big screen. And the autofocus is that's very dependent on the mood it's in that given day. So
Yeah.
maybe it's better than to use that money in a decent external screen so that you can actually set manual focus and be done with it.
Yeah, or go to your local computer recycling place and grab a cheapo out of support Android tablet. But if the camera app still works, I mean, mine's a Lumix one, and I've got an old Android tablet which I got from the recycling pile. It's so ancient that it won't even connect to the internet anymore. But the app still works, so you can use it as an external monitor,
Oh yeah.
and you can tap to autofocus and change all the camera settings. But I don't know what main camera you got, so I couldn't tell you.
No, yeah, not a bad idea actually. I did not think about that. I need to look into I have a Sony something, the cheapest one I could get away with, but with the aux audio input. And then, of course, if you can get a screen that can also, there's probably a universal bus connection, something that can give you control of things from the screen. I need to look into that. But yeah, that's another rabbit hole to
Oh yeah,
spe-
'cause there's
spend some days in.
monitors, and then there's monitors which are also external recorders, isn't there?
Yeah,
So you're bypassing the internal processing, and you're just taking the HDMI feed out of the camera into an external recorder, which also happens to be a monitor.
that being said, though, the 32 gig SD card I have in the camera, I have never. I mean, once I've downloaded a couple of days worth of footage and verified that yes, it works and everything, I don't keep it in the. I've never been at any recording session and like, oh no, I ran out of SD card. So having that external, that's just a big mistake waiting to happen. Like, oh, it's not recorded, and you did not have. Oh, I swapped the card for that one because I needed it in the. No, that's a disaster waiting for to happen.
Keep it as simple as you can.
Yeah,
Always.
Yep.
but
Let
that's
the
nice. I'm going away for a couple of days with the kid, and the kid goes to bed early, and then I have to lay in a hotel room and look into rabbit holes. So yeah, monitors and mechanical pencils. That should keep me occupied a couple of days. So yeah, good.
Sounds like a plan.
good times.
Good times. All right, then. Toodaloo. See you next week.
Yes, indeed. And
Bye
hopefully,
bye.
maybe we even made something. Maybe.
No promises,
Don't hold your breath.
but hopefully.